You're now enrolled in the School of BlackNegroJitsu. Is it your first day? Don't worry, the master, Leroy Stephen, and his co-instructors Dave, Mike, and Kyle will take it easy on you, rookie. Enroll in the School of BlackNegroJitsu right now. It's free. All you have to do. There's no hidden costs, no hidden fees. Hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're on. iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play. Hit subscribe, get enrolled, and you'll get completely free access to all of our classes. That's the School of BlackNegroJitsu. That's our main mixed martial arts class. Then we also have our two fantasy classes, the MMA Edge Fantasy Podcast and Black Market Picks. And we also have other offerings at the school, interviews, other random things. Enroll now. It's free, guys. Welcome to the School of BlackNegroJitsu Class 18, featuring Josh Emmett, number 4 ranked featherweight in the world. Glad to have you guys here. I'm your host, the master of BlackNegroJitsu, Leroy Stephen. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Dave Mark, co-instructor at the School of BlackNegroJitsu. What's good, Dave Mark?
First off, Laura, let me say it feels so good to be back. But I mean, nothing's up. Just a good start to 2018. Hopefully keep the momentum rolling. Bang out a bunch of quality podcasts this year. Hopefully we both win a bunch of money in DraftKings and any other endeavor. So hopefully be a great year. 2018 looks like it's going to be great.
Awesome. Like I said, we've got a great show here scheduled for you guys today. We're going to be talking UFC Fight Night 124 St. Louis. Of course, from my hometown, we're going to be talking that. We're going to do a UFC 220 preview. We're going to be doing that, so hope you guys are excited about that. We're going to talk all of the latest news and notes from the mixed martial arts world. We've got Conor McGregor possibly being stripped. Looks like he's going to be stripped for sure. Dana White is forcing him to defend or vacate. We're going to be talking Uriah Hall feigning, I guess. Any little news that little news blurbs that I see. We're going to be talking that. Saudis dropping 500 mil possibly on the UFC. We're going to be talking a lot of stuff today, and of course, we have a very special interview from Josh Emmett. I talked to him about what he's looking for in the future. We also talked about his possibly fighting Brian Ortega. He was talking about that right before I think the fight got offered to Ortega, and he turned it down. So great, awesome interview with Josh Emmett. Let's get right into this show, man. We've got our UFC Fight Night 124 Stevens versus Choi. UFC St. Louis rundown. We started off the night with Mads Burnell versus Mike Santiago. Oh, man, I really thought Mike Santiago had it early on, but he was not able to hold on to his it looked like he definitely had the striking advantage. He looked like for a while he had the grappling advantage, and then he just lost hold of the contest. I think the grappling really got to him. Mads Burnell is the more natural grappler. Burnell took over later, about halfway through the fight, and never let go of the lead. Mads Burnell with the upset win there. Probably that 4 extra pounds probably helped him out a lot. Guys that usually are overweight, grapplers that are usually overweight, that's usually an advantage for them. I think, personally, they need to do more than take 20% of your fight purse. I think they need to start taking a point like they do in Ryzen and other organizations. If you miss weight, or is it Ryzen or is it, I'm thinking of some Korean organization where if you're overweight by a certain amount of pounds, they take a point per round or so. And I think that would be a fair recompense for being overweight like that. Dave, what do you think about weight limit sanctions? I think it needs to start affecting the fight.
I definitely agree with you in that sense. I think there's got to be some sort of system, whether it's what you said, basically a point docked for every round you're in the fight, or some other type of stipulation to have the fighter who missed weight fighting from behind. as we saw, and I'm sure we'll get to later on in the pod, Uriah Hall fainting from his weight cut. It's not fair for guys who are trying to make the weight cut and basically killing themselves and pushing their bodies to the physical limit for other people who are well-known, weight missers or guys who will do it just to have any type of competitive advantage as far as like gamesmanship is concerned. So I do agree there has to be stricter enforcements. The UFC has to figure something out. What that is, I don't know, but there's got to be some type of system that does dock a fighter points, or that does have a fighter basically fighting from behind if they're going to try and come in with a little bit of a unfair or a competitive advantage.
Second fight of the night, we had J.J. Aldridge up against Danielle Taylor, and we were talking on the Creating Alpha Pod. This was the fight to take a Deuce 2 nominee and award winner, and so that's what I did. I'd eaten a lot earlier, so I went and took a shit. I can't tell you what happened during this fight. J.J. Aldridge apparently won, but nothing of note happened, so I guess it was a good fight to take a shit during. Creating Alpha Pod, great suggestion for that one. Jessica I versus Kalindra Faria, very interesting. Jessica I actually won a fight. Wow, Jessica I doesn't suck in any way. She's got high-level skill sets everywhere, but she just doesn't know how to win. She finally got in the win column. God bless Jessica I for getting a win. Won a decision, jumped on top of the cage. She didn't even know how to celebrate. That's how much of a loser she is. Go ahead.
I was gonna say before we end that, I actually saw. I guess you might have used elite and the word Jessica I in the same tweet, and somebody called you out for it, Lara. So I just wanted to know if maybe this is the point in time in the pod you want to tell said person to go fuck themselves.
Oh, I was just saying that she's in the flyweight division. She's the most experienced, one of the most experienced fighters. She's one of the more she's skilled beyond most of the fighters in the flyweight division. And she's bigger too, being a natural bantamweight. So I like what Jessica I brings to the table. I think that she could be flyweight champion, but at this point, Jess could be flyweight champion. So I don't know. It's just it's anybody's division. Jessica I is definitely a top candidate to win the title. So whoever said that, yes, you can go take your shoes off and go outside and kick rocks. Next up, we had Kung Ho Kang versus Guido Canetti. Kung Ho Kang submits Canetti in the first round, didn't lose a beat after his military service, his mandatory military service over in Korea. Irene Aldana puts a smashing on Talita Bernardo. Really showed a lot of improvements. Her weakness was not tested in this fight, and that's striking on the back foot, on the back pedal. She does not do well when people pressure her. Bernardo was not able to really put the pressure on and force her to fight going backwards and grapple and stuff. But Aldana looked great. She's a talented fighter. She's just got some kinks in armor there that have been costing her lately. But it looked like it was going to be finished very early. If you next fight up, if you listen to the MMA Edge Fantasy Podcast, I was all over this. Black Market Picks. Polo Reyes puts Frivola away very quickly. Frivola is garbage, in my opinion. He loads up on, at least in this matchup. In some matchups, he'll be fine, but against a striker with the power and precision of Polo Reyes, Frivola is gonna get steamrolled. That was the slam dunk layup for Polo Reyes. I don't know what Vegas was thinking. How Frivola was a negative 200 favorite, I don't know. I can't say. I guess recency bias killed the cat, but whatever. James Krause beats Alex White. Alex White landed the harder punches. James Krause was the more experienced and more skilled fighter there. Darren Elkins, once again, in typical Darren Elkins fashion, gets beat up early and finishes the fight late. That's what he does. One of these days, that's got to catch up with him. I mean, he can't just keep taking beatings like this and just keep his durability forever. Darren Elkins, I don't know, man. This has got to come to an end. Like, one day, Darren Elkins is going to the beatings are going to catch up with him, and he's going to start getting knocked out pretty consistently. That's what I think. Dave, what do you think?
I agree. So you can't just keep. I mean, case in point, Justin Gaethje. You can't just keep taking beatings your whole entire mixed martial arts career, and then basically take a beating for the first round or two, and then come back and end the fight once the guy's tired of beating your ass. But it's worked thus far, and it's definitely gonna work at this point in his career. But I do agree. I think towards the tail end of his career, he's going to be one of those guys who just comes in and gets obliterated in the first round or first hard shot, kind of just floors him. That's it.
Because he's not very athletic. He's not very good of a striker, and he can't keep fighting like this. I mean, he's gotten better since going to Team Alpha Male, but honestly, man, he's gonna hit that wall where we start to see him get plastered and whatnot one of these days. I love watching this though. I am a big fan of the damage. Don't let me sound like a hater. I just think eventually it has to happen. Next up, we saw Kamaru Usman beat on another note, I was very sad to see the hometown boy Michael Johnson take a loss here and in front of the hometown fans, man. It's painful to watch. First St. Louis card, beating up on Darren Elkins, and then choked out late. But his jiu-jitsu is terrible, man. He needs to take a jiu-jitsu class. That's all that's bad about his game. His jiu-jitsu is just lacking. Kamaru Usman versus Emil Weber Meek. That's the next fight up. Usman looked like Usman. Weber Meek, no love lost for him. He looked good. He fought all the way through. He hurt Usman, cut him. Weber Meek has got a promising future in the future. He almost choked Usman out, which would have fucked up all my DraftKings teams. Jesus Christ. My heart was beating for a little while. But Usman, I like Usman's angle here. I like he was speaking Igbo or whatever. He's trying to market himself. Maybe they can hold a UFC Nigeria card. I doubt it. But what did you think of Usman on Saturday, Dave?
He was definitely dominant. He really used his wrestling well when he got in trouble. He obviously was at a disadvantage striking with Emil Meek. Emil tagged him a few times. Nothing that looked like it was going to put Usman away. But like I said, is any time he seemed like he was getting in somewhat deep waters, he would just grind Meek down, and if the fight would eventually get to the ground, then he would just dominate there. I definitely think he's a pretty strong welterweight too. The way he's just picking up Meek and just slamming him, he definitely has some power. I think he's definitely got a bright future, but I think he'll probably end up maybe a top 5 guy. I don't think he has what it takes yet to be the champion at welterweight, but let's see. He's definitely starting to live up to his potential. I think he always has, but now I think he's just getting better and better as each fight passes, and I just want to see what's in store for him in the future.
Valhalla. He looks like he goes out and does big lines of coke after the fight. That's a weird dude, but that's he's got superstar potential, man. I can see him being an anchor for European cards. He can do some great things. Jessie Jess beats Paige Van Zandt after her cat was kicked in the chest. Trying to get Jessie Jess on, but they're telling me she's not doing any phone interviews right now. They're just taking questions over the net. I really want to talk to Jessie Jess. Resilient performance, seeing as though her house was robbed and her cat was kicked to death. I wonder if it was on purpose. I wonder if a PVZ fan broke in the house and wrecked it and everything in the name of PVZ. But Jessica Rose Clark didn't look spectacular, but she was much, like I noticed. I went to the open workouts, man. Paige Van Zandt is a very undersized 125er. She's gonna have to get in the weight room or something because she's super small. Like, she's probably walks around at 125, 135 or something like that, and she's gonna have to get bigger and stronger to deal with big girls like Jessica Rose Clark. Man, this girl is huge. I mean, you should have seen the size difference from a standpoint of muscularity. Jessica Rose Clark is in the best shape of her life. She looks good. She looks solid. She's not the fastest or most athletic, but she is improving quickly. And we're seeing a better Jessica Rose Clark every fight. That's 2-0 in the flyweight division. I don't know if she's championship material, but especially with her wrestling deficiencies. But got to give big ups to her. Also, Paige Van Zandt fighting with a broken arm. We've never been able to doubt her toughness. She is definitely an electric personality. Man, I see why the UFC promotes her so much. She is just the friendliest girl you have ever seen. She let all these creepers hug on her and whatnot at the open workouts, man. You know, guys were giving her big, sensuous hugs. And I was like, wow, you know, man, this is a little too familiar, isn't it? But Paige Van Zandt, man, she was out there, you know, doing it for the fans. And that's the type of champion that you would want. So I hope Paige Van Zandt can get healthy. She can fix some of the small holes in her game, get bigger, and so she can be the champion. Because if she is the perfect ambassador for the sport, man. She is a very legitimately sweet and warm person, and those are the kinds of people that sell tickets. Next up, we had the main event: Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens versus Doo Ho Choi. Man, I'm telling you what, I saw Jeremy Stevens at the weigh-ins, and I didn't pick up on it, but I didn't capitalize on it on DraftKings, but man, he looked focused. Jeremy Stevens, it was focused. And we always know sometimes Jeremy Stevens shows up, sometimes he doesn't. But that dude he was ready to fight. Doo Ho Choi, I don't think he did too much wrong. But, man, Jeremy Stevens brought it. Put Doo Ho Choi away. I was shocked by that. I guess Doo Ho Choi isn't as dangerous as I once thought. I thought he was unstoppable at one time, but apparently not. Apparently against strong boxers like Cub Swanson, Jeremy Stevens, he can be stopped. He can be beaten. Dave, what did you think of the main event? I thought it was a great fight for as long as it lasted. I think Doo Ho Choi still has a bright future. But, yeah, what did you think, Dave?
So what I was telling you before we got on air or what I wanted to get to on the podcast was, I think the thing with Doo Ho Choi, what I'm starting to think, or what I'm starting to kind of notice, and I'm sure some analysts might end up breaking it down on some podcasts, and probably more qualified to talk about it than I am. But he came in the first round. He had a great game plan. He kept attacking Stevens' lead leg. He's keeping a good range, keeping a good distance, kind of getting in and out of the pocket, wasn't staying in there too long, and wasn't really letting Jeremy Stevens bang with him. The second round, he kind of came out, and I think he kind of got away from that. And at that point, he looked like he wanted to stand and bang. I don't know if it was maybe the psychology of the crowd really getting into it at what seemed like at the end of the first round, and maybe he just kind of wanted to put on a show. But he kind of hit Stevens with that front kick to the face, and he kind of tried to get aggressive after that, and that's when Stevens took over the fight and eventually ended up winning by TKO. I'm scared. The thing is I think Doo Ho Choi is athletic. I think he's got skills, but I think he's the type of guy who if he's a fighter who's not going to be able to stick to a game plan past one or two rounds, he's going to take his fair share of ass whoopings. He came in with what looked like a perfectly executed game plan in the first round, and it looked like the second round that completely went out the window. He tried to get a little bit more aggressive and kind of play right into Jeremy Stevens. So I think he's definitely got holes in his game. If his camp and if he can kind of come to a realization that he can't just put on firefights that are entertaining, and he's got to kind of fight for longevity and fight smart. I think he's definitely got plenty of upside. But if he comes out and just wants to trade with some of the better guys in that division, I think he's going to get starched a few more times.
Man, I can't really say what his weakness is. I mean, Jeremy Stevens got vicious power. I didn't give Jeremy Stevens enough credit. I don't know when the last time he's been stopped or if he's ever been stopped, and his power is absolutely ferocious. I mean, Cub Swanson hit Doo Ho Choi about 15, 20 times hard, and Choi didn't go away, and he was just destroyed by this one punch in this fight. Um, yeah, very very impressive performance by the little heathen. What is he at 145?
I believe so.
Yeah, he'll never be champion there. But
No, too crowded a division, but
well,
definitely
I
a good
mean,
gatekeeper.
it's just Max Holloway that I'm not seeing him beating. Um, oh yeah, Jose Aldo. He's not beating Jose Aldo either.
But he's not beating Edgar either. Edgar already beat him. With Edgar
Yeah,
already put him away with the wrestling. He's not going to beat the top 5 guys, but he's definitely like a good, top 10 gatekeeper. His power is ridiculous. He wobbled Frankie, and I don't take anything away from him. He's a great fighter. But like I said, is I think Choi came out with a good game plan in the first fight. Kind of kept the distance, and in the second he wanted to bang with him. And if you bang with Jeremy Stevens, you're probably going to go to sleep. And, Frankie came in with a game plan, just kept putting him on his back and executed that well. I think if you could wrestle him or you could keep him at range, you could beat him. But if you want to come in there and try and stand and bang with him, you're going to go to sleep. So,
yeah, wild. Wild thing there, man. Yeah, Stevens. That's why I wanted Choi to win too, man. I mean, where is Stevens going from here? He's not really going anywhere. The best thing he could win is like a hot chick. I think he's already got a girlfriend though, so I don't know if he can even get that out of this career at this point. Just too crowded division up there. He's a great fighter. I got a lot of respect for him. He brings it, but it's just who is he going to beat at the top there? Probably nobody. Maybe he could though. I don't know. Let's get on to UFC 220, which is upcoming this Saturday. We've got a big card. Let's not play any games. Let's just get right to the main event. Francis Ngannou is going to vanish Stipe Miocic too. That's what's going to happen to Miocic. His ass is going to go into the grinder as well. I don't know if it's in the first or second round, but eventually Ngannou is going to put Miocic away. He's too big. He's too athletic. And well, you know what? Miocic could definitely wrestle him. We have seen Ngannou taken down against Luis Enrique, Curtis Blades. He can be taken down and grounded and pounded and stuff like that. He's not perfect yet. But, I mean, the last person that tried to take him down got Kimura, but that's Anthony Hamilton. Never mind. But yeah, man, how does Stipe Miocic not get put away in the first 2 rounds? I can see him last until late though. He's a very competent boxer, but I mean, Overeem was beating Stipe Miocic's ass for a good while, and we saw what Ngannou did to Overeem. I hate to use MMA math, but did you see that shit, man? I mean, it seems like it's just a matter of time until Miocic is destroyed in emphatic fashion. What do you think, Dave?
I want to say one path to victory for Stipe is if Ngannou gets handcuffed and locked up on his way to the ring for absolutely murdering Alistair Overeem, because I'm pretty sure he's still wanted for murder after he fucking starched Overeem, but absolutely killed him in the middle of the ring. But,
God damn! Did you see that shit on the countdown where his eyes was fucking open on the mat?
That was in bad taste. I mean, I think I need a picture of that, because anytime I'm having a bad day, if I look at that picture, it's like, oh man, it could have been worse. It could be Alistair Overeem, and I could have got punched by Francis Ngannou. But I think Stipe is definitely a smart fighter, right? We did see Curtis Blades kind of bring it to Ngannou to an extent. I think if Stipe doesn't get in range, tries to keep some distance, and somehow is able to shoot on Ngannou and actually take the fight to the mat, there is some paths of victory there if he's able to grind them on the ground and kind of wear him out. We haven't seen Ngannou go a 5-round distance. That's also because he's absolutely starched people prior to a 5-round distance, so we don't know how his cardio will hold up. I do see paths of victory for Miocic, and he is the champ. He's only lost twice, been TKO'd by Stefan Struve, and let me see. I was looking at the Shared Dog earlier. I have it pulled up here, and a decision loss to JDS back in 2014. he's definitely the, I think, more tactically sound fighter. But we haven't seen anybody besides really Curtis Blades who've been able to take a punch from Ngannou. So let's see what happens if Miocic takes a punch. Miocic is probably going to be out cold. So
I think Ngannou is like 10 times better than he was against Blades, though. Man, this dude is like, he's improving at an exponential rate. It's ridiculous. I mean, he didn't put a punch on Curtis Blades like that. He kind of did uppercut Henrique like that, but we see a 10 times better version of Ngannou every time. I think Stipe is going to hold his own here, especially because I think he's going to get his wrestling going. That can happen against Ngannou, but I don't even know if that happens anymore. Like this dude, what Fernand Lopez is doing with him out in Vegas is crazy, man. It's nuts, and I definitely think Ngannou wins. I just don't know how early though. I don't think the early. I think the fireman puts up. I love Stipe Miocic, but that's how much respect I have for Ngannou. I'm even counting Miocic out, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we've seen him fight anybody of Miocic's caliber. Overeem is not Ubereem. He's not what he once was. So I mean, let's see. All I can say is I think Stipe is definitely going to come in with a game plan. I think he's a smart fighter. I mean, if he gets caught, he's probably going to be out, like damn near anybody in the heavyweight division if they get caught with one of Ngannou's power punches. But he's definitely going to come in there with a game plan, and I don't think he's going to allow Ngannou to hit him with one of those. I think he's either going to try to close the distance and grind him out, or try and fight at range and really use his wrestling. So let's see, because like I said, I think he's definitely the smartest and the most talented fighter that Ngannou is fighting. Ngannou is definitely tremendously better and getting better with every fight. But I think the problem is I think people already counted Miocic out, and this guy is been champion. He's successfully defended that title 3 times. So we'll see come Saturday.
Okay. Next up, we got Daniel Cormier versus Vulcan Cousin. Is you blood or cuz? Ozdemir is cuz. He's my cousin, Vulcan Ozdemir. I think Vulcan Ozdemir's luck runs out here, but shit, man. Vulcan Ozdemir as light heavyweight champion, I can see it, maybe. I mean, either he gets grounded out or he pulls off another spectacular-rific upset here. I figured Daniel Cormier beats his ass, but what do you think, Dave? You think Ozdemir pulls out another miracle here?
I don't, and I think this is where the Vulcan Ozdemir train comes to a screeching halt. But every time I think that train's going to come to a screeching halt, he just fucking surprises me and just somehow wins. But I think Cormier's just going to grind him out. I think Cormier's going to hit him with a few of those fucking body slams, and I think he's just going to beat Vulcan senseless. I think he's also got a chip on his shoulder after that whole John Jones thing, after the last fight when he got that head kick, when Jones got that head kick knockout, and Daniel was on Street giving the post-fight interview to Joe Rogan. I think he comes back. I think he absolutely fucking destroys Vulcan Ozdemir. I guess the fight I want to see after that is hopefully him and Gustafsson fight again. So I think the Vulcan cousin train comes to a screeching halt. And if this guy, if he pulls out this win, I don't know, man. I can never go against him ever again, because he just keeps fucking defying all logic. So
I will have my cousin on a DraftKings team or two. Next up, Shane Burgos versus Calvin Kattar. That should be a great fight. I don't know who I got the slam for there. You got, I guess, Shane Burgos. Who you like, Dave?
I like Burgos as well. I don't know much about Kattar. I've got to definitely watch some film about him, but Burgos has looked good in his UFC fights. So I'm gonna go with Burgos here.
Gian Vellante versus Francis Amar Barroso in the Who Gives a Fuck fight of the night. Gian Vellante should win, but we know it's Gian Vellante, and Gian Vellante. Gian Vellante can be a scrub sometimes, man. I don't know. Gian Vellante at one time will start to have championship potential, and he has all the tools. He's a Division I wrestler. He's a top flight. He's a former Division I football player. He's a top flight athlete, and he is Mr. Here and There himself, man.
No fight IQ. He goes. Him and Derek Brunson go to the same fight IQ school. I mean, another guy.
Jen don't give. I've been watching them countdowns and shit. That's a goofy motherfucker, man. That's just who he is, man. He goofy in the motherfucker, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's got all the fucking talent in the world, but sometimes it's just that fight IQ is just fucking non-existent. And I respect the hell out of him, and I met him before, and he's a down to earth and a cool dude, New York guy. But if the best Gian Vellante shows up, he should win this fight. But he's the master of helping his opponent execute their game plan. So I hope the best Gian Vellante shows up and wins this fight, but who the fuck knows?
Yeah, it's Gian Vellante, man. He be fucking up. God. Thomas Almeida versus Rob Font at 135. That should be a bloodbath. I got Rob Font in that one. Kyle Bashniak and Brandon Davis. Abdul Razak Al Hassan and Saba Hamasi, they running this shit back, Dave. Looked like Saba Hamasi was taking over that first fight, but then I guess he kind of got knocked out, or did he slip, or I don't know. But they running it back. It's respectable. What do you think, Dave?
I mean, there should definitely be a chip on Hamasi's shoulder. Razak Hassan, I think is the better fighter, but I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't call this one. This is kind of my I don't give a fuck fight of the night.
Yeah. Dustin Ortiz versus Pantoja. What, you don't give a fuck about that fight? That's gonna be a cracker. What are you talking about, Dave?
I mean, the first fight ended with TKO with that possible slip, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm not saying that it's gonna be a bad fight. I just don't give a fuck about either one of these two.
All right. You're crazy. I had Abdul Razak Al Hassan at the school. You supposed to give a fuck about him, man. He was
all right. I do give a fuck about Abdul. Abdul, thank you for showing up on the school. I apologize. And unless we have Saba Hamasi on the show in the near future, I hope you beat Saba Hamasi's ass. All right.
All right, Dustin Ortiz versus Pantoja. I don't really care about that one. Dan Ige versus Julio Ars. Matt Bissett versus Enrique Bazzola. Marina Moroz and Jamie Moyle.
That got scratched. That got scratched.
Really?
Moyle didn't even show. I think she didn't even show up. She's not showing up. I can't remember. I saw today on Twitter. It got scratched. So I think she's injured and she's not making the flight. And Moroz is already there. I don't remember off the top of my head where the card is taking place. But I read on Twitter today that Moyo pulled out of the fight.
Okay.
Which is probably a blessing because that's definitely the I don't give a fuck fight of the night.
Yeah, who did I give that to before? That fight would have been straight trash. Oh yeah, I was not looking forward to that anyway. So it's been canceled. Yes, it has. James Lynch said, just spoke to a source close to the situation that Jamie Moyle is off the card due to an injury. Her opponent, Marina Moroz, has already landed in Boston. Will be tough to find a replacement on a few days' notice. So don't know if Moroz will get another opponent. Gleason Tebow versus Islam Makhachev. It should be a ugly striking match. I thought Gleason Tebow beat Khabib Nurmagomedov in that fight. So I don't see the lesser Dagestani taking Makhachev down. As a matter of fact, that being said, but this is post USADA Gleason Tebow. So how good will he be? But I'm gonna have me some Gleason T-Bow on DraftKings because he won that fight against Nurmagomedov. Go back and watch that. They always talking about Nurmagomedov has never lost a round. He lost at least 2 against T-Bow, if not 3. So yeah, that does it for UFC 220 rundown. In some very interesting news today, apparently John Jones passed a polygraph test in an effort to prove that he didn't know that he had ingested any PEDs. Very, very interesting. I hope that this is a step in getting him back in the octagon. They say that last month he took a polygraph. Although polygraph isn't admissible in a court of law, and it says that he didn't know that he had took it says I see here that one journalist says this is typically inadmissible in any hearing, even when admitted little to no probative value. Luke Thomas says results aren't very scientifically reliable, but shit, man, I want to see John Jones fight again. I'm sick of this shit, man. Vitor and all them, they was using TRT and all this shit, and nobody banned them for 2 years for some dick pills and accidental ingestion of God knows what. Let my nigga get back in the ring, man. What's going on here? Let the greatest fighter come back. What do you think, Dave? What do you think of this USADA shit?
Yeah, so Laurent, I'm all for giving John Jones a third shot. But I think if he pops again on this third shot, then I don't know. They've got to give him a substantial few year, like a multi-year ban or a lifetime ban. You've been saying all along that you felt like his shit possibly got spiked. So I'm all for giving John another shot. He's definitely by far one of the greatest, if not the greatest fighters to pound for pound to ever grace the octagon. I would definitely love to see him fight again. I'd love to see him come back, take 1 or 2 tune-up fights, and then possibly fight Brock Lesnar in a fucking amazing fight that I think would sell a whole ton of pay-per-views. We talked about that in the past. So I'm all for giving him another shot. But I think if he's got 2 strikes, I think if there's a third strike, then he's got to have a substantial ban that shouldn't be reversed, like a minimum of a 5-year ban. But I think he definitely deserves another shot, especially after his polygraph and especially after the dick pill thing the first time around, if that is true. So I'm all for giving him another shot. But if he fucks this one up, then I think he should definitely be banned for a few years.
Come on now, they let Lance Armstrong back and he popped positive.
Yeah, but Lance Armstrong was riding a fucking bike. He wasn't beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, but I'm sick of this shit. I want to see John Jones back in the cage. I want to see him being the greatest fighter of all times again. I'm tired of seeing him sidelined. Hurts my heart, man. I mean, this is ridiculous. But I thought something was wrong when he shaved his head bald. He looked kind of like some weird pedophile serial killer type character with the shaved head. I don't know if I'm the only one that thought that, but he just looks naked, man. I want to see John Jones have hair again.
I want to see him with the Aljo flat top.
Yeah, man. I want this bald head stuff to stop, man. This shit is ridiculous. But let me look at some more news. Apparently, Yoel Romero, who just got a title fight against, is he going to be fighting
Luke Rockhold?
Luke Rockhold. Okay, Luke Rockhold. He's filing the lawsuit against Shred RX maker, supplement maker. If you don't remember, Yoel Romero popped positive like a year or 2 ago and was suspended for 6 months by USADA for using a tainted supplement. It was from Shred RX. He put in a lawsuit today against them. Good for him. I don't know how well he's going to do in that lawsuit, but the United States of America just needs to put sanctions on supplements. That's just the bottom line. It shouldn't be the wild, wild west like it is today. There shouldn't be all kinds of steroids and stuff in your supplements. It's ridiculous. If you want whey protein, you should just be getting whey protein. I'm glad somebody's taking taking a some action against this. What do you think about Yoel Romero's lawsuit?
I mean, I don't know the merit, and I don't know the real basis. I don't know if I basically don't know what shot he's got of winning, but I mean, I think it's definitely it definitely is shining some light on this issue. That I kind of agree with you on, where it is kind of the wild wild west, and it seems like a lot of these guys are getting popped for taking supplements that have trace amounts of something that's a ban on USADA's banned substance list, which is definitely causing some of these guys their livelihood. So it's good to kind of see fighters fighting back, and hopefully, hopefully with this, hopefully it starts a chain reaction, and hopefully there's some I doubt it's going to happen, but hopefully there's some FDA fallback, and supplement makers are a little bit wiser and a little bit and have there's more stringent regulations on what they can and can't put into some of these supplements that these guys are getting popped for.
Yeah, man, it's a terrible thing. Vitor Belfort was supposed to retire in my hometown in St. Louis, Missouri. That was scrapped. Maybe lucky for him. Uriah Hall was way faster from what I saw at weigh-ins. But anyway, UFC President Dana White later said he offered, this is according to Bloody Elbow, he offered the Phenom replacement fights for the same card and UFC 220 only to be met by an answer of no for both. They got Vitor a fight for St. Louis. He could have fought. He chose not to. He got him a fight for Boston. He said no. Belfort says he wants to get paid for being at the fight in St. Louis. What do you think? Do you think they should pay Belfort, or you think he should have just took the replacement fights? Did all the work. He made the weight. I think fighters should get paid when they make weight.
I definitely think he should get show money. I know that there's been lots of outcries I've heard in the past. I think Ally Quinta is one of the individuals who talked about not getting show money. I know there are other people who've been on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani who've talked about not getting show money. I think if you do your job, if you show up, you should get paid just like anybody else. Like if you go to a regular 9 to 5 and you're in the office and you show up and somebody else doesn't show up, you don't get penalized for it, right? You get your money for showing up that day. You get whatever your contract states. And that's what Vitor should get too. Vitor had a whole training camp training for one specific style, right? One specific fighter skill set. He should definitely he showed up. He stepped on a scale at his age. He made weight. If Uriah Hall couldn't make weight and had medical issues, that's something that plagued his camp, right? That's something that needs to be reviewed as a whole. There's been a lot of issues with weight cuts. That's something that we've talked about plenty of times on this podcast. But if you show up, you should get show money. You did your job. You did your part. You shouldn't have to fight a replacement, right? You're fighting. You're doing a training camp for one specific fighter's skill set. You shouldn't. It could be advantageous if you're the fighter getting someone on short notice, but it could also be advantageous for the fighter getting the fight on short notice if they're in shape because you've prepared for a completely different fighter. So I don't think in any way, shape, or form Vitor should have had to take any of these fights on short notice, and Dana White and the UFC should be paying him his show money.
Very, very interesting there. Kamaru Usman, Dana White is a slut. Once again, he is not promoting his fighters. Kamaru Usman talks about how he only was at 30% there. And afterwards, Dana White goes and rips his comment and kills his hype and says that the fight was terrible and you don't say you're at 30. Dana, you're supposed to be hyping Kamaru Usman up. You're the promoter. Promote your fighters. I heard last week Tyron Woodley was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about this, and I think he's exactly right, man. Don't be digging your fighters into the ground when they don't have the most exciting performances. Tell us why it was great, why you should want to see it again. That's how you sell tickets. You don't go out and say, yeah, that fight sucked. It was terrible, and I don't want to see him again. Then the fans won't want to see him again. Then you won't make any money, fool. Like, what are you doing? What do you think of Dana White's terrible promotional practices here, man?
So
This is a
for
top
me,
five fighter, man.
for me, there's a positive and a negative, right? I do agree. I think Dana White is definitely a slut in the sense that I do respect the fact that he kind of gives it, as the boss, he kind of gives it to us straight, right, as fight fans, and kind of does say, this performance was bad or whatever, but I think he does that a little too much, right? And I think if you really want to see a good fight, I think you need to matchmakers need to put the styles together that make for a cracking fight, right? I think there's obviously the small percentage in a small window that there's a fight that we expect, like I think it was a good fight, but I think like a recent fight that comes to mind is Ponzinibbio versus Mike Perry, where everyone thought somebody was going to get knocked out, right? I think that you still have to make those type of matches where the styles make a fight, where maybe you get a very, very exciting striker, the highest of the high quality versus, a very exciting grappler. Or two strikers like we just had in Doo Ho Choi and Jeremy Stevens, right? For the most part, there's pretty decent matchmaking, but I think that there's a fight on paper is going to be a shitty fight, and those fights shouldn't be made to begin with, right? Like us as fans, we know that fight's going to be a complete, steaming pile of shit, and that's going to be that deuce of the night fight where you're going to go take a shit because you don't want to watch the fight. So I think the matchmakers
That's
have
the fight to drop a deuce to.
Fight to drop a deuce to. I didn't have the terminology down correct. I do apologize. But what I'm trying to get at, the point I'm trying to get at is I think he's got to have some realness to him, right? And kind of give us what we as fans deserve to hear. But he's also got to do a job as an entertainer and as a promoter to sell fighters and to build fighters up. I think that there's too many times or I've seen it too often, where I think he puts a lot of stock in one fighter. His one meal ticket or his one lottery ticket, like a Conor McGregor. I know, and this is a guy who didn't pan out to be that lottery ticket, and maybe you have some that come to mind. But Philip Nover was back in the day was supposed to be the next big thing, and it was
next
supposed to be
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the Pacquiao of mixed martial arts, and I feel like there's too many times where there's that one fighter that Dana puts all that stock into, and this guy's gonna be your next big thing. I think you need a whole array. You need a stable of those type of fighters, right? You should be searching out. You should be stockpiling the UFC with that type of talent, where every single one of those fighters is a guy who could put on a cracking fight. So I think he's doing the fans a bit of a disservice. I like the honesty to an extent.
Who cares about the fans? It's about the fighters. You're the promoter. Look at Floyd Mayweather. None of his fights are exciting, but everybody, the promoters, tell him, "Hey man, he's the master of defense, highest statistical defense." You're supposed to be promoting the fighter and telling us, even if it sucked, why that was a great performance from a perspective of the realities of the sport. That's what your job is.
And I don't disagree. And the point, I guess I was a little long-winded, but I think the point I was trying to get at, Lara, was I think that he falls in love with one or two fighters, and it puts all that backing behind him, as opposed to doing it for a lot of fighters as a whole, right? Or for the whole stable of fighters.
He's losing money. It's idiotic. You're supposed to go. It's make believe. You're supposed, even if shit don't happen, you're supposed to tell us how shit was happening and how actually this was a high level chess match in between two masters of martial arts. Let's break it down. You're supposed to explain to us why we are ignorant for not appreciating this artwork. Like Dana White is turning into a bad promoter, and he's costing himself money with this shit.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that he's definitely a bad promoter. I think that, and I don't think that Floyd is sold as a master I think fight fans and smart fight fans know he's a good defensive fighter. But I know HBO, the way HBO used to, when HBO had his rights before Showtime, when they used to put on the 24/7. I remember a bunch of kids I would go to college with would always get hyped up off that 24/7 and be like, "Oh man, Floyd's gonna knock this dude out," or Floyd's gonna fuck this guy up, and then it goes 12 rounds and they want a refund on their pay-per-view buy. But you are correct, right? HBO was doing a great job and the promoters are doing a great job of selling that fight. And Dana, as a promoter, has to sell these fights. And you're right. I do think that he does owe it to some fans to give it to us somewhat straight, but you're right. He can't embellish it a bit, right? He can't embellish the fact like, oh, this was a strategic war between a grappler and a.
But it was a great performance by Usman.
It
was not a bad performance.
I don't disagree, and that's the problem is he shits on his fighters way too much.
It's ridiculous because it's not his fighters. It's a tournament. That's all it is to the UFC. It's the promotional structure has not changed from the beginning. And that's terrible. They are not developed. Boxing has been around for hundreds of years. Do they do this type of shit in boxing? No, they don't do this. They don't dig holes for fighters if you didn't go out and knock somebody out. You're supposed to be promoting and investing and building superstars. They're not doing that. They're putting great fights together, fight in and fight out, and that shortens the life of fighters like Doo-Ho Choi and these guys. There's no way Choi should probably be fighting at the top of the division already. He's probably the future of the division, like they throw people into the fire too quick. They don't. It's ridiculous. It's just like we talked about before. It's a great product. It's a bad promotion that the product isn't even going. It's going to suffer because of the lack of promotional development in the future. That's what I think. Man, like I said, Rockhold versus Romero. I got Romero all day in that fight. GSP looks like he might never return, but I guess he did get sick in the motherfucker. He had colitis and shit. You think GSP should come back, or he should call it quits and just say, "Fuck it, I'm the GOAT"?
I think he should call it quits and retire as the GOAT. I think he did the best thing he possibly could do for the UFC and the UFC fight fans. He came in, fucked Bisping up, took that title off him, vacated it, and now we get to see a bunch of fighters actually fight for a title in one of the deepest divisions. You're stacked at the top with guys like Rockhold, like Romero, Robert Whitaker, Derek Brunson, Chris Weidman. There's plenty of capable guys. I think it's a very exciting decision. Jacare as well is somewhere in that mix too, right? Even though he's getting older as well. But I think it's one of the deeper and more stacked divisions. I think Bisping was bottlenecking that entire division. GSP came in, fucked him up, vacated the title, and I think he should ride off in the sunset just like that. He did everybody the biggest service he possibly could. So I'm more than content if he retires. If he wants to fight, if he wants to kind of handpick some fights for some easy W's and go out that way, I honestly don't have beef with that either. I think he's done everything he's had to do for the UFC. He's done everything he's had to do for UFC fight fans. I think he's a little past his prime, and even though he put on a great show last time out, I think that was a perfect swan song for him.
Yeah. GSP, man, I don't want to see GSP versus Woodley because I think Woodley puts him away, just like Johnny Hendricks beat him or almost beat him. When he can't get his wrestling going, he takes too much damage. He just always is bleeding and shit. So yeah, Dana White. Also, back to Dana White criticizing motherfuckers. He even criticized Uriah Hall for having this fucking seizure. Golly, Dana, have a heart, man. At least wait till the guy recovers to say, he was out partying a week before or whatever. I guess that's a good point though. But Jesus, Dana, wait, don't kick a man while he's down. I think that's it for this episode of School of Black Negro Jitsu. We've got, last but not least, the interview with Josh Emmett. I'm going to let you guys listen to that, and then I'm going to go ahead and sign us all out, man. We talked about a lot of great stuff. Talked about the possibility of him versus Ortega. That looked like that's evaporated at this point. We talked about his aspirations for the division. If he'll fight people with lower rank than him, number 4 ranked featherweight in the world. Let's welcome Josh Emmett to the School of Black Negro Jitsu. Josh Emmett, welcome to the School of Black Negro Jitsu. It is excellent to have you here today over your right after your huge upset of Ricardo Lamas, who I believe was ranked. Was he ranked number 3 in the world? 4 or 5? Where was he at?
Yep. Yeah, number 3.
Number 3 in the world at featherweight, I believe. And you absolutely shocked the world on short notice, mind you. Were you really torn up about missing weight right after the fight? I mean, I don't even know if it was possible for you to make weight on that short of notice. But after you got the knockout, you lost to $50,000. Do you think the UFC needs to change their policy about that? If they're going to bring you guys in on short notice, don't you think that they should kind of, let you have your bonus and your after a huge upset like that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And man, that was. It was definitely upsetting. I got the call on 3-week notice, and I had to take it because there's no way that because I wasn't ranked, you know what I mean? So I wasn't ranked in the division, but I knew I could beat him. I think I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and I plan on being a world champion this year. And so I got that opportunity, and I had to take it because I would not be in that situation if it was not short notice. And so, but I totally agree that I think I should get that bonus. Not only was it one of the biggest upsets of 2017 from me, my second fight at featherweight, short notice, I'm unranked against one of the top guys in the world, number 3, and the way I went in there and knocked him out. And even everyone saying it was a knockout of the year candidate, and then I see all this stuff, going on right now, and I'm not even in the running for knockout of the year. So I think that's kind of, a little. It's upsetting, but it is what it is.
Now, man, do you think that I think the UFC has a real Nazi type of approach to their bonus system, but I guess if you were boxing or something else, you would never even get a bonus. So I don't know. I guess it's a give and take. But man, since you got in the UFC, you've been putting on impressive performances, gaining upsets, looking really strong against some of the top competition. How did you get started, man? How long have you been fighting for? How did you get into the martial arts? What's the background on Josh Emmett?
So basically, I've been an athlete my entire life since I was a little kid. I can play everything. I may not look like I can, play every sport, but super coordinated, really good at everything. I got into wrestling when I was, I want to say like 11 years old, and I really excelled at that. And even in high school, I played baseball, I played football, wrestled, but I really wanted to focus on wrestling, so I did that. And, I went on to wrestle in junior college, and then I went to the 4-year level and wrestled on a scholarship. But the way I got into it is I'm from Sacramento, so
wait a minute. What college did you wrestle at 4-year college? What 4-year college did you wrestle at?
It was Menlo College. It was a private college. It's NAIA, and so that's the same. I don't know what's out there, but Menlo College, if people aren't familiar with it, it's in the Bay Area. It's like 2 miles from Stanford.
Okay.
And we've had there's 800 students total in the entire college. About 600 of the students are athletes. And so Danny Castillo, he wrestled at Menlo College. He was in the UFC, obviously. Myself, Carla Esparza, she was on the team. She's, who Carla Esparza is.
Yeah, wait a minute. Was she on did they have a women's team, or was she wrestling with you guys?
Yeah, they did have a women's team. And then Ashley Evans Smith, she was, wrestling there. She's in the UFC right now. Cody Gibson, he was on my team. He was in the UFC, and it's kind of crazy. So we've had 5 people in the UFC from such a small school. But I wrestled there, and like I was saying, I'm from Sacramento, so I was just fortunate that Uriah Faber's Team Alpha Male was in my backyard. So I've always been a fan of the sport, love the sport. Used to watch the pay-per-views with my best friend Johnny when I was in high school, and that was before it was mainstream. before the Ultimate Fighter show. And when Uriah opened his gym in 2005, I went in there because I wanted to fight. So I just started taking the classes. And, Uriah talked to me a long time ago. He came up to me and he said, I see a lot of potential in you. Are you thinking about fighting? And I said, yeah, that's why I'm here. So he invited me to the pro practices, and then I ended up getting that scholarship. So from 2007 to 2010, I went to Menlo and wrestled. I wanted to get my degree in case the fighting didn't work out, and I knew wrestling at that, that high of a level would, evolve my wrestling and get me better for fighting. So as soon as I graduated, I came back to Sacramento and kind of picked up where I left off, and I was training full time. I worked at a group home on the weekend, so I'd work like these 13, 14-hour shifts on, Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, so I could train all week. And I did that. I had 2 amateur fights, won both of those, and then went pro and just kind of went on a run.
Okay, so your pro record here is standing at I believe 13-1. Your only loss so far coming to the Predator, Des Green. You came in on short notice, upset John Tuck, broke your hand. Did you break your hand in the 3rd round of that fight?
Yeah, it was actually the 3rd round. Yeah, it was compound fracture in my ring finger on my left hand. So it was my first fight, setting records. It was the worst hand injury in UFC history. Yeah, that was
really?
It was pretty bad, and I had to hide it. It was bad. If you check that out, it was.
No, I watched the fight.
I think the rest like. Okay.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of John Tuck on DraftKings, or I might have had some of you too. And you absolutely smashing through the first 2 rounds, and then you absolutely got your ass beat in the 3rd. It was really lopsided. It was like you were running away. It was kind of hilarious. No offense. It was kind of hilarious because you kept running away, and it was like, man, what happened? He's doing so good in the first couple rounds. And then after the fight, you say you broke your hand.
I was gonna say, to my defense, like if you watch the fight again, it was I was beating his ass for the whole 3rd round except the last 90 seconds. Then that's when it happened, like 2 minutes in, and then
okay.
I saw it literally the bone sticking out, the fingers hanging there by the flesh, and it was just flopping around. So I looked down and I was just having to fight him with one hand, and then that's why I was like literally. I still even think I won that whole round. Like if you watch the 3rd round, like I think I could have put him away until that happened. Like I was really piecing him up and putting it on him, but I got the win. I don't know how it was a split decision, but the judges are kind of odd. Same thing with that Desmond Green fight. I fought him in Buffalo. He was from there, and I felt like I won that fight. But
was that fight was it in the Philippines? Let me look here. Where was that fight at?
The first fight with Tuck was in Rotterdam.
Okay, and Tuck is from
Netherlands.
Okay, so
he's from Guam, but he has
Guam.
He has a huge fan base like out in Europe as well, and like the islands.
Oh yeah, very impressive performance though. It was kind of hilarious because it looked like a dog chasing a cat or something. You were desperate to get away, but I never knew it was a compound fracture. Got a win over Scott Holtzman. Of course, lost a split decision in super close fight to Des Green. Nothing to be ashamed of. You kind of blew Felipe Aranches out the water there, even though you did in the first round. I think you knocked him down like 5 times, didn't you?
Yeah, it was 4 times, so that was the most. So I set a record there. It was the most knockdowns ever in a single round with four knockdowns, and then also like the first ever 10-7 round as well.
Yeah, like
so I set 2 records in that fight.
Yeah, you set all the round records, and of course, big upset over Ricardo, the Bully Lamas. I don't know how many times he's even been knocked. Was that the first time he had been knocked out in his career?
I think like that. First time knocked out cold. The good thing is my teammates, Danny Castillo, fought him back in WEC, and Danny got a TKO over him. And then, Chad Mendez fought him, I want to say like 2 years ago, and also got a TKO. But, other than that, and he's fought the who's who. He's beat, the best guys in the world. And, I kept saying all week, because, he fought Max Holloway, he fought Jose Aldo in a 5-round title fight, and none of them were able to finish him. So I kept telling him, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do what the current and the former champion could not do to him. And I was able to do that in the first round.
Man, now you are the number 4 ranked featherweight in the world from unranked all the way up to number 4, and you're talking about giving Ricardo Lamas a rematch. I understand you're an honorable man. You respect the fact that he gave you that opportunity on short notice, but why not take the glory run and try and get to this title, man? What are you doing? Why do you want a rematch with this guy?
Yeah, no, that was someone. Someone just asked me that night. It was a journalist. He said, "Hey, would you give Lamas a rematch if he asked for it?" And I was just entertaining the fact. I said, "Yeah, of course. He gave me the opportunity. So if that's what the UFC wanted, if that's what he really wanted, then yeah, of course I would give it to him." But from my personal opinion, I really don't. I don't believe that we should have a rematch. Because it's not like it was a close fight or anything. It was. I didn't even get to train for that fight. I took it on 3-week notice. So I trained. I had a training camp for 2 weeks, and then I went out to Winnipeg to cut weight. And so if I actually trained 8 to 10 weeks for him, I think it'd be that much worse. I don't know how it could be any worse, but I think it'd be that much worse for him, me actually being able to train for a fight. And even with like the knockout, no disrespect to him, but it's like, that was bad. He was unconscious for like 3 minutes. Like, it was a bad knockout.
Really? Was he really sprawled out for that long? I didn't know that.
Dude, it was bad. The cameras had me like, they had me like shifting the other way, so it was just Bruce Buffer and I, in the cage. He was just out cold. Like, the doctors were freaking out, and so I think he needs to take at least, I don't know, 6 months off and then get back into practice. I don't think he should fight anytime soon, and I want to. So my whole thing is, what makes most sense to me is, I've been saying I want to fight Brian Ortega because, he has a lot of hype behind him. He's really good. He just beat Cub Swanson. He's ranked number 3 in the world now. I think him and I should fight for that number 1 contender spot. The winner of us gets the winner of Holloway Edgar.
Are you sure, Josh Emmett? Brian Ortega's mama had a dream, and he keeps winning these fights miraculously in the 3rd round. Are you sure you want T-City, man? It seems like he's got a divine mojo with him, man. He gets his ass kicked for 2 rounds, and he wins according to mama's dream. Are you
awesome.
afraid?
But no, yeah, I'm positive. I feel like I should be undefeated too. I got a little blemish on my record, but hey, it is what it is. If I didn't get that blemish, I'd still be fighting at lightweight, But that made me rethink things and go down. So that's why I truly believe everything happens for a reason.
So you're not you don't care about mama's dream. Josh Emmett has a dream and he wants to be champion. He says fuck it. So the next title fight is Holloway versus Edgar. Is that correct?
I think that's what they've been talking about. It's like Holloway's a champion. Edgar and him were supposed to fight. Edgar got injured, some freak accident, and I think that's what they're looking to do is rebook that. I think that needs to happen. Edgar deserves it. So yeah, I think they should fight. Ortega and I should fight for that number 1 contender spot because there's no one really left in front. It's Jose Aldo, and he's a great fighter. He's a legend of the sport, but he's out of his last 4 fights, he's lost 3, and then the only other person in front is it's Edgar. Him and Holloway are going to fight, and then it's Ortega and myself. So it's like I think that's if I could write it out, and I think that's what the fans want to see, and I think that's really what needs to happen.
Would you accept fights with maybe Cub Swanson, the Korean Zombie? Would you have that on your ledger possibly?
Yeah, possibly.
They're ranked lower than
I know
you. That's
Korean,
why I say that. Would you accept those fights if they were presented to you?
Yeah, if that's really what was going to happen. But as far as me just moving forward, Cub's just coming off a loss against Ortega, and Lamas finished Cub. So I don't even think that's really, I want that Ortega fight moving forward, and then the winner of Edgar Holloway. And I want to be the champion. I will be the champion in 2018. So.
Okay, all right, very interesting. So you're looking for the championship in 2018, not 2019. You want it this year. In a way, I mean, you were right, man. You would have never been able to get to this level of contendership without fighting Ricardo Lamas. It would have taken you probably to 2019 to accomplish something like this. So that was absolutely a huge upset. Do you I've looked at the Team Alpha Male camp and I watched those embeddeds. Do they do those going away dinners for everybody? Or is that for just the champions? Is that a tradition that's only for the champions? How does that work at Team Alpha Male? It seems like a real family atmosphere there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a family atmosphere at Team Alpha Male. And they do a lot of, so many people in and out, and Uriah's traveling all over the place. But for the majority of the time, yeah, he really tries to make when people are fighting, they always do some type of going away thing, just wishing them good luck, and yeah, it's just like a co-op, and everyone's helping each other out, and so it's an awesome place to be. And I haven't really gone elsewhere to cross train with a lot of people, in different camps. I've been here since the beginning, but everyone that comes in from different camps or different coaches, they always say that Team Alpha Male has something special, like they've never experienced what we have. So I'm there again. I'm just really fortunate that it was in my backyard of Sacramento, and it's one of the best teams in the world, and people are constantly training year round. It's not just coming in when you have big camps or big fights. So it's a great place to be, and I'm not going anywhere.
Do you who's the young prospect that you're most excited about getting at Team Alpha Male? I believe you guys got Sage Northcutt. I think you guys got the damaged Darren Elkins. You guys got a lot of young talented guys over there, and girls. I think I don't know what girls are there anymore after Paige Van Zant has left. But who's the Cynthia Calvillo? There we go. So you got a lot of young up and coming talent. Who's the guy you're most excited about and the girl you're most excited about, not named Cynthia Calvillo?
Yeah, as far as like prospects that aren't even in the UFC that I think they'll be there soon and do really well is there's a guy, Tyler Diamond. He's someone to keep an eye on. He's he's getting better every day, and I believe he's 8-0. Maybe 9-0 as a pro.
What's his skill set? What's his background there?
Wrestling. Wrestling. His background, his base is wrestling. He wrestled at Sac City College, the junior college I wrestled at. He went on and wrestled Division I, and then he's just been working a lot of his jiu-jitsu and striking. And we also have a guy, Eric Sanchez, Mario Soto. We have, I can just go on and on. We have a list, just a room full of killers that would do really well in a big organization, whether it be UFC, Bellator, or Pro Fight League. And I think they will get on the scene here soon or within the next year or two, and people will definitely recognize them. So I'm looking forward to their success and just their growth as fighters.
What about females? Any up and coming females?
We have a girl, Brooke Mayo. She's fought in Bellator. She's really good as far as jiu-jitsu and everything, and she's always in the gym working hard, and she's really worked on her striking, and I think she'll do really well. So that's another lady to keep your eye on.
Now, let's say, how big is the Team Alpha Male camp? Like, how many people are coming in and out training there? Do you guys have is it like most big camps? Do you have amateur classes, pro classes? Like, what's the program over there?
Yeah, we have, man, it's pretty big. It's been growing over the years, but I would say we probably have about anywhere, 30 to 40 people, and we just do pro practices. So we have scheduled like nonstop. It's a legit schedule. We have our pro practices every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In the morning, we have no-gi jiu-jitsu. We have our wrestling practice 2 times a week. We have boxing class 3 times a week. Muay Thai once a week, and then we have like everything at our fingertips because Uriah's new gym is just state of the art. It's a one-stop shop. So we have physical therapists in there. We have strength and conditioning. We have saunas. We have literally everything. And then you have to get your outside work with your whoever's holding pads for you. So I work with my man, boxing coach Joey Rodriguez. I do that on the side. My strength and conditioning. I have a swim coach, a mind coach. Just kind of the whole 9 yards, man. So I have a great team behind me, chiropractors, nutritionists, doctors, acupuncturists. So I'm just really fortunate, and it's just awesome.
So Team Alpha Male is pro only. So there's no open to the public membership. There's no amateur classes. It's only a small group of pros, huh?
Oh no. As far as that, for Uriah's gym, we do have we have some guys that come in that are, it's up to him. It's invite only. So if he sees someone that's, an amateur or wants to fight or get some amateur fights and has no fights at all, he'll invite them. They get a work out if he sees a lot of potential in them and kind of help guide the way. But we at Uriah's gym, he also has regular classes, so it's like the full spectrum of, martial arts, from jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, strength and conditioning. That's for like the general public, but we have our pro side where it's just like our pro practices. But then on the other side, it's open to the public, and even some of the classes are no-gi jiu-jitsu with Chris Holdsworth. That's the one class where it's open to the public and the pros. So it's pretty neat, because just someone off the street can come roll with some of the guys on the team. So it's a cool atmosphere, and I think a lot of the fighters make that gym make the gym just because like the people off the streets and want to just looking for general fitness or just self-defense, they get to come in and learn from the pros, work with them, and everyone's just real cool and humble. So it just makes the gym one of a kind.
That is very interesting. So it's just like American Top Team and all the other teams. I was just wondering, Mr. Emmett, I want you to stay on the line. I need to get your fight picks for this upcoming card. We always get our pro fight picks. But thanks for your contribution to the School Black Negro Jitsu. If you have any shout outs, any sponsors, or anything like that you'd like to call out right now, it's your time, sir.
I just, as always, just want to thank, like my core group of friends that have, been there since the beginning, all my friends and family, and of course my wife, and just sponsors, teammates, coaches, everyone that's been there since the beginning and continues to help me evolve and ride this wave, and they know who they are, so I appreciate them, and I'm stoked for 2018. We went out with a bang in 2017, and this year is going to be even better. Just watch.
Thought that was the end of the show there. We enjoyed that interview with Josh Emmett, but news just broke here. Conor McGregor has been stripped of his title officially. It was a rumor that it was going to happen, but Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson for UFC 223 in Brooklyn. That's the fight right now. We're going to wait to see it, I can't wait to see it. I guess I can't blame Dana White for stripping Conor McGregor of the title. If this was like a WBO or WBA title, he would have been stripped. I guess you got to defend it once a year. Am I correct there, Dave?
I believe so. I'm not certain myself.
Yeah, I'm not a big boxing guy, but it's been almost 2 years, I think, since he stepped in the octagon. So you got to move on. Conor McGregor will be back, and when he does come back, he'll be back in the title fight. Everybody knows it's his division. But Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson, man, that should be a hell of a fight. I want to say Tony Ferguson all day. I know that Khabib's weight cuts aren't such a big deal anymore, but Tony Ferguson is a great wrestler too. He's got a great bottom game. But if Kevin Lee was able to ground him and pound him, I bet you Khabib could too, man. What do you think of that fight, Dave?
I mean, I don't disagree. I think the problem is I think the only shot Tony's got is to keep this on the feet. I think if Khabib takes it to the ground, I think it's over. I think Tony takes too much damage. He tries to play a little bit of that slick close guard game, and that he tries to use that 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, like that slick rubber guard from the bottom. And being under Khabib is not where you want to be in a mixed martial arts fight. So I just don't see. I haven't seen anybody who's been able to stop Khabib from taking the fight to the ground. I think, with the exception of what you mentioned earlier, Gleison Tibau possibly winning a decision, which was awarded to Khabib, or the first round or the first half of the first round, and Michael Johnson versus Khabib, where Michael Johnson actually had him rocked. I've never really seen anybody really do too much damage to Habib. Habib just usually just wrestle fucks somebody, takes him to the ground, and I think there's only one person with as good or possibly better ground and pound across the UFC, and that might be Luke Rockhold. And I don't even think it's better than Habib's. So I do think Habib. I think Habib wins in a dominating fashion. I think he wins by TKO if the two of them fight, or when the two of them do square off.
Yeah, I was not impressed with Ferguson's takedown defense versus Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee is kind of like Khabib super light. It's like Khabib Zero. You know, if Khabib was a Pepsi, Kevin Lee would be Khabib Zero. But I really want to see the fight I want to see is Kevin Lee versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think that's a very interesting matchup there. Yeah, that does it for the School of Black Negro Jitsu, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we got an interview with number 3. Is he number 3 or 4 ranked bantamweight? Jimmy El Terra. Jimmy Rivera. We got him on the show. We've got hopefully Curtis Blades in the future. I'm waiting on his manager. I talked to Curtis Blades. He's down to come on the show. Vaughn Alexander, up-and-coming boxer out of prison. He's got a great story. Brother of Devon Alexander. We got a lot on tap at the School of Black Negro Jitsu. We'll be back next week. Oliver Taza, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu phenom, up-and-coming. We got a lot of great stuff on tap, man. Hope you guys continue to tune in. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Enroll now. It's free, guys. YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, School of Black Negro Jitsu. We'll catch you guys next week.